to work on enhancing our vocabulary. All right. We talked a little bit about vocabulary earlier. It's super important for us as readers to have a good vocabulary. We'd like to read our standard we're focusing on today, Troy.
Identify relationships among words including multiple meanings, synonyms and antonyms, homographs, metaphors, similes, and
Analogies. Good job. So identify relationships among words, including multiple meanings, synonyms and antonyms, homographs, metaphors, similes, and analogies. So there's a lot of stuff here that goes along with vocabulary. So that's how we know that it's super important for us to understand how to do this. All right. So what I want you guys to do is turn and talk to an elbow partner. What is the most arduous word you know? And I did that on purpose. So arduous means something that is difficult and tiring. So think about the most arduous, the most difficult word you know. Turn to an elbow partner and talk what the most difficult word is that you can think of. Alan, hop in with Charlotte and Micah. The hardest English word, Alan. I saw those gears turning. You know some difficult words. Bring it on back now. All right, I heard some really good stuff there. Who can raise their hand and share something their partner said? So share something that your partner shared with you as a difficult word. Leland? Okay. Sounds like someone's been working on some nonsense words down in the learning lab. All right. What do you think, Drew? What did your partner share with you? Okay. Good. Charlotte? Onomatopoeia? Oh, that's a great word. I love that word. Khalid, what about you? Okay, that's a good one. Maggie? Yeah, so I was listening in, and I'm glad that Chris Leese brought this up. In Spanish, when they pronounce an S, they don't just say S, like they say S. So like if Chris Leese was saying to stop, she would say, how would you say it? You say it better than me.
We say stop. We don't say stop.
Yeah, so that's an example. That's difficult vocabulary for her, which, okay, bring it back, which is important because, like I talked about this before, learning a new language is very difficult. Some of the smartest people you know are bilingual because it's very difficult to learn that. So most people that are bilingual are very, very intelligent. And it's important for us to understand that because we are also learning every day. We're learning more and more vocabulary and more English. And so it's super important for us to understand that it is difficult to understand English. It's one of the most difficult languages to learn, which is all the more reason for us to be experts in understanding vocabulary. So I saw some good things there. I'm going to share with you the hardest word that I can think of, which happens to be the longest English word. Here it is.
Dang!
All right, so we have a super long word here. Very long. Okay, so what strategies can we use to read this word? All right? Sounding it out, yeah. What else, Maggie?
Break it into parts.
Breaking it into parts. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking of doing, okay? So when we break a word up into parts, they're called morphemes. Everyone say morphemes.
Morphemes.
Okay, so morphemes are parts of a word. So we're gonna section this word off to see if we can figure out what it is. All of you in here can do this. All of you in here can figure out what this word means. Every single one of you. Okay, a lot of us are gonna look at it and say, "Oh wow, that's too long for me. I'm just gonna skip over it and keep on reading." But it's important for us to understand how to attack these words. All right, that's why I said attacking challenging words. We're going to attack it. Okay, so we're going to do it all together. So hold your horses. So the first thing we're going to look at here. Okay, hold on, relax. All right, the first thing we're going to look at is this chunk right here. Okay. Does anyone know how to say that chunk right there, Clip?
Menu.
Close. Leela?
Menu.
Okay. That is a common mistake here. So this P is actually silent. It's a silent P. Like pterodactyl. Starts with a P. Okay? So this, we're going to say this together. It's pneumano. Everyone say it. Pneumano. Pneumano. Okay, so who can think of a word that has pneumon in it? I'll prompt you a little bit. Has anyone ever had a relative that, or maybe even yourself, that got sick and they were in the hospital and they had some chest problems, some lung problems? There's a sickness that starts with this.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Very good. So pneumonia. So if you've ever known anyone that has pneumonia, it's a buildup of fluid in the lungs, basically. And that's what pneumano means, okay? It comes from a Latin word for lung, okay? So, and this brings up a very good point, Clint. So where have you heard that word? Do you know someone that had pneumonia before? Yeah. Okay, so it's important to note that because Khalid has experience in this, he has some background knowledge on pneumonia. So he's heard that word before, and he can associate that because he has some experience with that. And we talked about before how important background knowledge is and building up our background knowledge. Okay, so we know that pneumano means lungs. Okay, it just means lungs. Okay, now pneumonia is a sickness you get in your lungs. It's when your lungs fill up with fluid. You're not supposed to have a lot of fluid in there. Okay? This one is a little bit easier here. Ultra. Ultra. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard the word ultra before. Okay, pretty much all of us have heard ultra before. Who can tell me what ultra means? Kendrick? Yeah, so like maxed out, beyond normal. Okay, it's something. It's extreme. Okay, it's past the level of normal. All right, so ultra is beyond or extreme. Good. Next one, I bet you we have some knowledge with this as well. So that is micro. Everyone say micro.
Micro.
Micro. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard micro before. Very good. Who can tell me what micro means? Leela? Yeah, super small. Okay. We're going to put tiny. Or small. Yep. Tiny, small, little. Oh, turn around. Okay, so we have tiny or small. Okay. Next, we're going to look at, I'm running out of colors here. Such a big word. Anyone know what that says? Raise your hand if you know what that says. Noah? Yes, scopic or scopic. Everyone say scopic.
Scopic.
Scopic or scope. Has anyone heard of a scope before? Yeah. So some of us know what scope. I'm sure we're going to reference Call of Duty probably, and you've got a scope attachment. It allows you to look at something closely, right? It lets you zoom in a little bit. A telescope, for example, it lets you zoom in and see something that is small, right? So scopic is to see. Very good. Okay, this is probably the hardest chunk right here. Silico. Silico. Give me a thumbs up if you have heard of silicone before. Okay. Or silica. Does anyone know what that means? Leland?
If you make concrete, you grab a box that has the shape that you need and put concrete in it and put it.
Okay, you are definitely on the right track. It does have to do with concrete for sure. So, Khalid, do you have an idea?
Like a mold.
Not quite. So silica is actually a type of sand. Okay, so what silica is a super fine sand. It's like a mineral that has a couple different molecules in it that make up silica sand. So we can go to Menards right now and go buy silica sand, which is a type of sand. It's super fine and powdery. So we're going to say that silica is a fine sand. And by fine, I don't mean that it's like, oh yeah, you're fine. Like fine as in like it's refined, like it's been broken down into a tiny piece. Okay? This next one, I have a feeling we've heard this before. What does that say? Volcano. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard the word volcano before. All should have heard that before. Okay, so we know that. Okay, can you relax, please? Okay, so volcano. A volcano is a volcano. We don't really have to go too in depth with that. Something that erupts with lava, has hot lava that erupts out of it. That's going to come into play here in a second. I lied earlier when I said that silica was the hardest one. This is the hardest one. Okay, this is coniosis. Everyone say coniosis.
Coniosis.
Good job. So coniosis is having to do with a disease that has to do with dust. Okay? So a disease, yeah, I figured you knew that one. I figured everyone knew that one, so. Disease that is related to dust. Alright, so now we have this huge, gigantic word that no one in here had any hope of ever reading from what we thought previously. Now that we're looking at it in these little chunks, we have lungs, beyond, extreme, tiny, that you can see. It's fine sand from a volcano, and it's a disease. Okay? So what can we infer this means based on all of these chunks? Can we make an inference, Noah, on what this word means?
It's like a disease of the lungs that is
From a...
volcano.
That's exactly what it is. So pneumono ultramicroscopic volcanicosiosis is a disease that has to do with the lungs that comes from small, fine particles from a volcanic eruption. So a lot of times people that are exposed to a volcanic eruption, they will develop this disease, and it's sort of like a pneumonia. It's a disease of the lungs that they get from inhaling that super fine, powdery dust from the volcano, and it can make you really, really sick. Okay, so this is a super, super long word that we were able to break down. This is the longest word in the English dictionary. It's as long as it gets. It's as hard as it gets. And you guys, as 10-year-old fifth graders, were able to break it down and read it. If you can figure out what this word means, you can figure out what every word means. Yes, sir.
Can you say it again?
Yep. How about we all say it? All right. I'll say it one more time, and then you guys will repeat it. All right. So it's pneumono-ultramicroscopic silivolcanicosiosis. Are you ready? Pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanocosiosis. Very good. All right, so now we figured out how we can read hard words by breaking it down, right, Caleb? Figured that out. So now we can move on to why. This is a deep question here. Why do you think having a large vocabulary is important? Why don't you guys turn to an elbow partner and talk to them on why do you think that vocabulary is important? Why is it important to know a lot of words?
If you know the longest word ever, you could know any other meaning of the word. And you would already know it.
When we're done, I'm going to need you to move over here. How about you start moving on?
Long words,
All right, bring it on back. Okay, who can share with me why we think it's important to have a large vocabulary and know a lot of words? Drew, what do you think?
So that you know the words in the vocab, what they mean.
Yeah, so to understand the meaning of these words is super important. Kendrick, what else? Absolutely. We did good, better, best. We can have good words. Let's try to find some better ones, and then we can find the best words, and we sound really smart, which is awesome. Erica, what else do you
If
think?
you know the longest word and you know what the meaning of that is, you can know every else meaning of another word.
Exactly. So we can expand our vocabulary, and we can understand more things. The more we understand, the more we know, and the more productive we can be. All right? Good job. All right, so here are some reasons, and real life reasons, why having a good vocabulary is important. Business, okay? Raise your hand if you like money. Good. I like money as well, okay? So if you want to be good in business, it's important to have a good understanding of vocabulary. Okay, if someone's trying to rip you off, you need to understand what they're saying, right? Or if you want to try to sell your business, you want to try to sell a product, you want to be able to communicate to people why your product is the best, okay? And having a good vocabulary, you can reach a lot of people that way, okay? Medical, okay? For the example we just saw with that word, understanding what that means. I'll share a short story of why this is important. A few years ago, I got pretty sick, and I went to the hospital, and I told them that my stomach hurt. And I didn't explain to them what my symptoms were. I just said, yeah, my stomach's hurting pretty bad. And they were like, okay, well, we'll set you up with an appointment with a GI doctor, gastrointestinal. They'll check out your stomach. It's about like a 3-week wait right now. And I was like, oh man, like I'm really in pain, but okay. And the next day I went to a different hospital, and I explained that I'm having upper abdominal pain. It feels like there's a softball in my stomach. It really is difficult to get through the day because the pain is so intense. And I was able to explain it better, and they took a deeper look at it, and they took me to surgery immediately, and thankfully that they did. So it's important for me to be able to articulate what I was feeling so that they could take me serious. Right, Patrick?
Yeah.
Education, obviously, vocabulary is super important with education. We need to understand what we're reading, what kind of words we're seeing. Entertainment, I think, is an underrated avenue to have a big vocabulary. Who can think of an entertainment? What kind of entertainers have a good vocabulary? Maggie?
Dancing.
Maybe. Khalid, what do you think?
Private entertainers?
Okay, so let's think more so like people that are using vocabulary that is important. Noah? Comedians? Yeah, definitely. They need to be able to make jokes, so that's super important. Singers, singer-songwriters, when people are writing songs, a lot of times, especially rappers, for example, have to have a huge vocabulary, right? Because in rap, they need to have these rhyme schemes. It needs to be able to rhyme, but it also needs to make sense, and it also needs to connect to the culture. And then our personal lives, having a good vocabulary is important. For example, a lot of times as kids, we run into situations where we're trying to explain something to an adult, and maybe they're not taking you as serious, or we'll say, John being mean. And it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, sure, he's being mean. But if you say, hey, John is insulting my family, they're probably going to take it a little bit more serious, right? Because you're able to identify the exact behavior that's going on instead of just saying being mean, right? And that's super important. We're going to do one little example here. This is a fake Taylor Swift lyric that I made up, and we're going to read this and see if it sounds good. And Taylor Swift's song Enchanted, she says, fake smiles and people looking away, all were gone when I saw your face. All I can say is, it was nice to meet you. It's okay. It's okay. It might be good for, might be alright for a 5th grader, okay? But this is an icon we're talking about here. So, if she wrote the song like that, do you think she'd be very successful?
No.
No. But Taylor Swift, as a singer-songwriter, she has an extended vocabulary, which makes her good at what she does, okay? This is the actual lyrics. She says, walls of insincerity, shifting eyes and vacancy vanished when I saw your face. All I can say is, it was enchanting to meet you. That sounds so much better, doesn't it? It gets you thinking a little bit. It provokes a little bit more emotion, right? So this is an example of why having a good vocabulary is important in all facets of life. We got examples in the medical field. We have examples in our personal life. We have examples in entertainment, and why having vocabulary is important. Okay, everyone on the same page here? All right, good. So what we're going to talk about now is shades of words is what this activity is called. So just like an artist uses colors to paint, we use words to communicate. Okay, so our words are our paint. Okay, each color has dozens of shades, right? If you go to Menards, you can look at the paint and see that there's 8,000 different types of white. You never would have thought there'd be that many different types of white, but there is. And so it's the same with us when we're speaking and we're writing. We have many words that mean the same thing, which are called synonyms. Good job. So synonyms, words that mean the same thing, right? So what are words that mean the same thing? Synonyms, good. All right. So I had, speaking of paint chips, I have some, okay? So what we're gonna do here is look at some words that are high frequency words. Does anyone know what I mean by high frequency? Charlotte?
Words that are more like high, like people and like that smart and businesses and stuff use it.
Okay, so let's think of the word frequency, frequent. If something is frequent, it happens a lot. We see it a lot. It occurs a lot, right? So if something is high frequency, that means it's words that we see a lot and we use a lot. Okay? Which is fine, but sometimes we want to be able to go past that surface level knowledge and be able to identify some words that sound a little bit better in our writing, or maybe a little bit more specific, like I was talking about when we're talking about someone's being mean or someone's being bad. Sometimes we need to be able to be a little bit more specific, and that's why there's so many words in the English language. There's a word for everything. So if we can be a little bit more specific, it might help our situations out a little bit. So I'm going to show you an example of what this looks like, and then we're going to participate in an activity, which can be some fun. See if I can do this without breaking anything. Okay, so I had Mrs. Oberholtzer do this activity unknowingly. I just told her to write some synonyms down. So the word on the top is see. Everyone see the word see?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So the word is see. Okay. This is Mrs. Oberholtzer on the right. This is me on the left. So two words that I thought of that are synonymous with see is the word view and observe. Okay, to view something, to observe something, to see something, it all means the same thing, right? But if I say that I observed a whale in the ocean, rather than saying, oh, I saw one, okay, it can sound a little bit better. Okay, it kind of catches the reader's attention more, so when we're writing, having an understanding of how we can do this is important. And then Mrs. Oberholtzer had the word see, and she thought of the word look and the word view. It's okay. They'll knock again if they need us. Come on in. Yeah, I'm doing an observation. Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries.
Whenever you're done, can I send you, please give me a call because I have a student I want you to talk to.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to each get a word at the top of our card. And then we're going to have 2 blank spaces here. Okay? And you guys are going to come up with 2 words that mean the same thing. Okay? So these are high frequency words, so they're words that we see a lot. Okay? So we should have a little bit of an understanding of what that looks like. Okay? And then after we get our 2 words written down, what we're going to do is we're going to find the person that has the match. Okay, so whoever has the top word the same. Okay, so which word are we looking at?
The C.
The top. Yeah, so in this case it's C, so the top word. Everyone's going to look at the top word on the card. It'll be in marker, so we'll be able to see it. Get it? See it. Alright, so, and then once you go with your partner, you're going to exchange words. Okay? So we're sharing words so that it becomes yours. Okay, this is how we extend our vocabulary. So if you look at these 2 cards, what do we notice is similar besides the word see? What else do they have in common? Noah? Good, so they both have the word view. Okay, so if we see that, what we're going to do is we're going to circle it. Okay, we're going to circle that as a match. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to write the word that your partner put into yours. Okay, so now I'm going to write the word look onto my card. And then I'm going to write the word view down here as well. Okay, so I have view on here twice, which is fine. Okay, so now I have a new word. I have the word look. Okay? So I obtained a new word by exchanging words. And then Mrs. Oberholtzer would do the same. She would write the word view over here, even though she already had it. Trying to write like her is not very easy. And then she's going to write the word observe down here. Okay? So one of two things are going to happen here. One is that you're going to get your partner's card and they're going to say a word and you're going to be like, oh man, why didn't I think of that? Or you're going to say, oh look, that's a new word that I didn't even think of that word, or I didn't even know that word before and now I know it. Okay? So some ground rules here. Okay? Everybody needs to try. Okay? I know not all of us have the biggest vocabulary in the world. That is fine. Okay? I can work with not knowing. I cannot work with not trying. Okay? So everyone needs to try to come up with 2 words that are synonyms with their word. Okay? And the reason why we're sharing is so that when you get with a partner, if you couldn't think of 2 words, this is fantastic because now you're going to receive 2 words. Okay? And that's the point of putting it onto your card. Okay? So even if you couldn't think of something, try to just put down a word that you do know. Okay? The closest thing that you could possibly think of, that's what you're going to put down. Okay? And then we're going to meet back here. And then we're going to do another round, but we're going to change it up just a smidge. Everyone understand what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, so I noticed that only the Sharpies and pens work very well. The other markers do not. They just smudge right off. Okay, I don't have enough Sharpies, so we're going to use pens. You might have to scribble a little bit on the side to get the ink going because they haven't been used in a while. And then you're going to have to write kind of hard, but not hard enough to poke through it to come up with your words, right? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give each person a card and a pen. Once I get your card and your pen, you're going to head back to your seat and you're going to come up with 2 words that are synonyms. Got it?
Got it.
Good. Actually, Lyrica, will you start passing out those pens? I'll pass these out. Once you got a pen and a card, head back to your seat. Once everyone has a card and a pen, I'm going to set a 5-minute timer. Okay, try to come up with words on your own. If you need a little bit of assistance, raise your hand and I will be around to help you. That's a good one. Good one. We got the same thing. That's no fun. Doing that one now. So instead of saying something was good, what could you say? That was probably easier. So think about other words that are like fun. Yeah, that is great. I didn't even think of that one. Think about that. finally, once you have your 2 words. You're thinking of synonym, not example. So instead of saying, man, that dude is fast. Man, that dude is. You already wrote that. That's a fast car. That's a slow car. Man, you got done fast. You got done. Quick. Probably should have got that part. Yep. That's right, good work. Well, that's not as good. Complete. So instead of saying like, oh man, he's a good kid, or you're good at sports, you're what?
You.
All right. So you're taking your card. You're looking at what box? Yeah, the top box. Okay. So look at the word in your top box that is written in marker. I want you to go find whoever has the match, and I want you to exchange words. You're trading your words. You're not trading your cards. You're trading your words. So whatever they have in the second box, you're going to write in your second box, and then vice versa. Got it? All right. 5 minutes starting now. Who is funny? Drew?
Me.
Easy.
So for the funny, I thought of the word humorous. Somebody's a humorous person. They're full of humor. What did you write for your second box? Hilarious. I like that one. That's good. Humorous. H-U.
Don't worry about the others.
O-R. O-U-S.
So the marked out ones are supposed to be in something else.
And then what did you put in your last box? I like that one. That's really good. That's awesome. And I put comedic. So if someone's like a comedic person, they're like good at comedy, so they're a funny person. That's C-O-M. E-D. I see. Good job. That was awesome. Great words. Once you've exchanged words, you can start heading back to the carpet, so I know that you're ready to move on. Sit up, please. Leland. All right. Did anybody have a word that both you and your partner use? All right, what did you and your partner both use? Genius. So for smart, a synonym was genius. That's awesome. That's very good. What else? Troy?
Quick.
Quick. Both of you use quick. Awesome. So instead of fast, we could say that somebody is quick to do something. Maggie, what else?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Me? Thank you. You should know. So instead of pretty, you could use the word beautiful. Okay, it sounds a little bit more elegant than pretty, right? Anyone else have a direct match? No? All right, I'll take a couple of people who want to share a word that they didn't put and also did not know. Did anyone have any of those where you didn't know the word? Elijah?
I thought it was party instead, so I put party words, but then I found out it was pretty. It kind of just turned out weird, so I restarted.
Okay, that's understandable. I could see how you'd make that confusion. Araya? Abnormal? Yeah, so that's a pretty good word. Leland?
Good and happy.
Okay. Yeah, great. So it sounds like we got a good understanding of some different words, some things that we maybe didn't think of. That light bulb went off a little bit. Like, oh yeah, I didn't even think to connect those words. All right, so now we're making those connections. We're building our vocabulary by doing that. All right, let's get our eyes back up here. Set the pens down, please, because you need to be focused. All right, so we did words that mean similar or the same thing, which are called what? Synonyms. Okay. Now, what if I wanted to do this with a word that was the opposite?
Antonym.
I would do an antonym, right? So me and Mrs. Oberholtzer also did an antonym card. Okay? So our word was win. Okay? As in, gonna win the game. Okay? So she put lose is the opposite of win, right? If you don't win, you lose. And also the word fail. So if you don't win at something, that means you fail at something, right? And for win, an antonym of win, so the opposite of win is to suffer a defeat. If you suffer a defeat, you don't win, right? And forfeit, okay? If you forfeit something, you can't win, right? So that's the opposite of win is to forfeit. Okay, you're giving up. You're not winning. You're defeated. You lost. You failed. Okay, those are all the opposite of win. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing the same thing. You're gonna get a word, and you're going to write two antonyms. So now we're doing the opposite. Okay, we're doing antonyms. What are we doing?
Antonyms.
Antonym means the
Opposite.
So we're all on the same page. So there's no confusion, right? Give me a thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying. Give me a thumbs up if you know what an antonym is. Excellent. All right. So I tried to do a completely new round of words. So these words should all be different. All right. I'm going to come around. Once you get your card, take your card back to your seat, come up with two antonyms, and then we're going to do the same thing where we find our partner. Okay? Okay, so just a reminder, you're doing the opposite word here. Got a 5. Let's do like a 3-minute timer. I felt like we got it in about 3 minutes last time.
Which one did you do? Reject.
So if someone's not a nice person, what are they? Perfect. That's a great one. You just learned my validation. You guys good? So if someone's not a strong person, they're a weak person. If they're weak, what else are they?
Say that alone.
I feel like you can be lazy and strong though.
You know, I missed one.
Anyone else need
I missed
some?
one. Can I just fix it? I'm gonna do that. You could have just said I missed one.
If someone's not loud, you're not loud at all. What are they?
Everything that I did last day.
Perfect. Thank you. What else are they? Quiet. Yeah, but. What do you say to go on?
This is my little brother when he wakes me up in the morning. He's gonna play a random game. He's gonna play a random game. He'll give me 12 so no one plays. Sometimes I lock him in. What? He always plays a sound in my ear. And he'll do it at 12 o'clock.
You're not very fast.
I'm not gonna do that to him. Mine sounds so clean when everything says. My sounds
Yeah, do we need another minute or so?
No.
Okay, just a reminder that camera's still on. Alright, go ahead and find your match. I'm strong. Nice. Don't forget your pen so you can write down your neighbor's word. So, what did you put as an antonym for strong? Weak, that's a good one. Add that to my card. Make sure we're staying focused, Elijah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I would say that. I wrote fragile. If something's fragile, it means it can be easily broken, right? Okay, yeah. I think that's good.
I got this. What is he?
it's not very strong. Like if a piece of metal is malleable, that means you can bang it into different shapes and bend it super easy. It's like you can bend it, so it's not like rigid, it's not strong. That's what malleable means.
I did not see that one.
Structure, yeah, it's not there's no strength to it. It's kind of
You can just
yeah.
break
Good.
that.
Good words.
Let me try doing this.
Hey, who has the card loud?
Loud? Mine is the cleanest.
Charlotte. All right. Once you got your words, go ahead and come back down to the carpet. All right. Did anybody encounter a word that they didn't know before? Troy? Malleable. So malleable is an antonym for strong. So something that's malleable, it can be bent and moved into different shapes. Like if a piece of metal is malleable, that means you can manipulate it and dent it and fold it and bend it in whatever direction you want. So it's not a very strong piece of metal. It's the opposite of strong. It's a weak piece of metal, but it serves a purpose, right? Because sometimes you have to bend metal into certain shapes to do things. So very good. Anyone else get a word they maybe didn't know or didn't think of? All right. Turtle as an antonym of fast. Yeah. So if you are moving at a turtle's pace, you are going the opposite of fast. Lynn, what else?
Reject.
Oh, reject. So the opposite of accept. So instead of accepting something, you're going to reject it. I don't want that. Awesome. That's a great antonym. Justice?
Deny.
Deny. Good. Access denied. So if you're not going to accept someone, you can deny them. Very good. Awesome. Did we have any matches? Kendrick? As the opposite of easy. Good. Yeah, so the opposite of easy would be difficult. Something that's difficult is not easy. Lyrica?
Sad.
Sad is the opposite of
Happy.
happy. Yeah, that's about as easy as it gets there. Opposite of happy is sad. Alan? Slow. Opposite of fast is slow. Good. Noah? Young is the opposite of old. Sure is. Charlotte? Quiet. That's the opposite of loud. Good. Micah?
Darkness.
Darkness is the opposite of
Light.
light. Good. Elijah, last one.
You suck.
Okay, so not necessarily what we're looking for, but thank you anyway. All right, so just to recap kind of what we went over how to break up words so that we can understand them. We went and we talked and discussed why learning vocabulary is important, and then we were able to apply what we learned to get some new vocabulary. So good job, give yourselves a hand. Good job. All right, you guys can start heading back to your seats.